Chat GPT on Bertrand Russell's Conquest of Happiness. List the causes of unhappiness in Bertrand Russell's The Conquest of Happiness and summarize competition as a cause of unhappiness in this text. Together, a realistic scenario of competition as a cause of unhappiness. Bertrand Russell's The Conquest of Happiness lists several causes of unhappiness, including lack of purpose or direction in life, inadequate personal relationships, unfulfilling work or unemployment, physical discomfort or ill health, envy and jealousy, overattachment to material possessions, resentment and anger, fear of death and the future, inadequate sense of humor, unreasonable expectations or standards. Quote from Chapter 1, What Makes People Unhappy? And when you have reviewed your friends, teach yourself the art of reading faces. Make yourself receptive to the moods of those whom you meet in the course of an ordinary day. A mark in every face I meet. Marks of weakness, marks of woe, says Blake. Competition is listed as one of the causes of unhappiness in the text. Russell argues that competition, while often seen as a necessary and valuable aspect of modern society, can also contribute to feelings of dissatisfaction, anger, and resentment. In particular, Russell notes that the desire to be seen as superior to others or to have more possessions or status can lead to feelings of unhappiness and a lack of fulfillment. A realistic scenario of competition causing unhappiness is as follows. John is a successful salesperson who is always striving to be the top performer in his company. He spends long hours at work, constantly comparing himself to his colleagues, and is never satisfied with his sales numbers. Despite his success, John feels unfulfilled and unhappy as he is constantly worried about losing his position as the top salesperson. The stress of competition has taken a toll on John's mental and physical health, and he finds himself feeling stressed, anxious, and exhausted on a daily basis. Despite his success, John is unable to find happiness as he is consumed by the competition and the desire to be seen as superior to others. Quote from Chapter 3, Competition. Competition considered as the main thing in life is too grim, too tenacious, too much a matter of taut muscles and intent will, to make a possible basis of life for more than 1 or 2 generations at most. Can you explain Byronic unhappiness in Russell's text with another realistic scenario of these concepts? Then summarize Russell's thoughts on boredom and excitement together with another realistic scenario. In The Conquest of Happiness, Bertrand Russell defines Byronic unhappiness as a form of unhappiness that is characterized by a sense of boredom and restlessness. Russell argues that people who experience Byronic unhappiness are often highly sensitive and creative individuals who feel unfulfilled by the routine and monotony of everyday life. This can lead to feelings of boredom, restlessness, and dissatisfaction with life. A realistic scenario of Byronic unhappiness is as follows. Sarah is a talented artist who feels unfulfilled by her job as a graphic designer. Despite her success, Sarah finds herself feeling bored and restless as she feels that her job does not allow her to fully express her creativity. Sarah becomes increasingly discontent with her life and feels that she is not living up to her full potential. She finds herself constantly seeking new experiences and challenges but is never truly satisfied as she feels that her life lacks excitement and meaning. Chapter 2, Byronic unhappiness. Seeks to prove that the wise man will be as happy as circumstances permit, and if he finds the contemplation of the universe painful beyond a point, he will contemplate something else instead. In his text, Russell also discusses the concepts of boredom and excitement. He argues that boredom is often caused by a lack of meaningful activities or pursuits, while excitement is the result of engaging in activities that are challenging and fulfilling. Russell suggests that finding a balance between boredom and excitement is key to achieving happiness, as it helps individuals to maintain a sense of purpose and satisfaction with life. A realistic scenario of boredom and excitement is as follows. Tom is a retiree who has been looking forward to his retirement for years. However, once he retires, he finds himself feeling bored and unfulfilled as he has nothing to fill his days. Despite his best efforts, Tom finds that his life lacks excitement and meaning. However, one day, Tom discovers a new hobby: volunteering at a local community center. Through volunteering, Tom is able to engage in meaningful activities that challenge and fulfill him, and he finds that his life is suddenly full of excitement and purpose. Through this experience, Tom realizes the importance of finding a balance between boredom and excitement in order to achieve happiness. Quotes from Chapter 4, Boredom and Excitement. I have seen a boy of 2 years old, who had been kept in London, taken out for the first time to walk in green country. The season was winter, and everything was wet and muddy. To the adult eye there was nothing to cause delight, but in the boy there sprang up a strange ecstasy. He kneeled in the wet ground and put his face in the grass and gave utterance to half-articulate cries of delight. The joy that he was experiencing was primitive, simple, and massive. The organic need that was being satisfied is so profound that those in whom it is starved are seldom completely sane. The 2-year-old boy whom I spoke of a moment ago displayed the most primitive possible form of union with the life of Earth. The special kind of boredom from which modern urban populations suffer is intimately bound up with their separation from the life of Earth. A happy life must be to a great extent a quiet life, for it is only in an atmosphere of quiet that true joy can live. Please generate similar responses for fatigue, envy, and the sense of sin. Fatigue. In The Conquest of Happiness, Bertrand Russell recognizes fatigue as a common cause of unhappiness. He argues that fatigue can result from overworking, a lack of sleep, or engaging in activities that are not fulfilling. A realistic scenario of fatigue causing unhappiness is as follows. Maria is a busy working mother who is always trying to balance her job, her family, and her personal life. Despite her best efforts, Maria finds herself feeling constantly tired and overwhelmed. The stress and fatigue of her daily life have taken a toll on her physical and mental health, and she finds herself feeling irritable, moody, and unhappy. Quotes from Chapter 5, Fatigue. When a difficult or worrying decision has to be reached as soon as all the data are available, give the matter your best thought and make your decision. Having made the decision, do not revise it unless some new fact comes to your knowledge. Nothing is so exhausting as indecision, and nothing is so futile. Talks about leaving a task unfinished and discovering that he spent the intervening months unconsciously worrying about the matter. My own belief is that a conscious thought can be planted into the unconscious if a sufficient amount of vigor and intensity is put into it. Envy. Russell argues that envy and jealousy can be significant causes of unhappiness, as they often lead to feelings of dissatisfaction and resentment. He suggests that it is important for individuals to focus on their own achievements and happiness rather than comparing themselves to others. A realistic scenario of envy causing unhappiness is as follows. Peter is a successful businessman who is constantly comparing himself to his colleagues and friends. Despite his success, Peter finds himself feeling envious of others and is never truly satisfied with what he has. The constant comparison and envy have taken a toll on Peter's mental health, and he finds himself feeling unhappy, resentful, and unfulfilled. Quotes from Chapter 6, Envy. Envy is very noticeable in children before they are a year old and has to be treated with the most tender respect by every educator. The very slightest appearance of favoring one child at the expense of another is instantly observed and resented. For all this, the proper cure is mental discipline, the habit of not thinking profitless thoughts. After all, what is more enviable than happiness? That is to say, genuine interests to escape self-centeredness. The sense of sin. Russell recognizes that feelings of guilt and the sense of sin can be significant causes of unhappiness. He argues that such feelings can arise from cultural or religious beliefs and can lead to feelings of shame, self-doubt, and low self-esteem. A realistic scenario of the sense of sin causing unhappiness is as follows. Sarah is a devout Christian who is constantly struggling with feelings of guilt and shame. Despite her best efforts to lead a virtuous life, Sarah finds herself constantly feeling like she has fallen short of her own standards. The sense of sin and guilt have taken a toll on Sarah's mental health, and she finds herself feeling unhappy, anxious, and unfulfilled. Quotes from Chapter 7, The Sense of Sin. Speaks of a person planting rational convictions in their unconscious mind while concerning themselves with neutral activities to overcome a loss of self-respect. If a man were to invite a lady to marry him on the ground that he ardently desired her happiness and at the same time considered that she would afford him ideal opportunities of self-abnegation, I think it may be doubted whether she would be altogether pleased. What are some ways people conceptually understand their sense of sin that causes unhappiness to resolve these conflicts and move to a state of lasting happiness? In The Conquest of Happiness, Bertrand Russell argues that resolving conflicts related to the sense of sin requires individuals to reevaluate their beliefs and values. He suggests that it is important for individuals to critically examine the cultural and religious beliefs that are causing feelings of guilt and shame and to determine whether these beliefs are aligned with their own values and beliefs. Additionally, Russell suggests that individuals can resolve their sense of sin by practicing self-forgiveness and self-compassion. He argues that individuals should be kind and gentle with themselves, recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and experiences setbacks. By focusing on self-improvement and growth, individuals can work towards resolving feelings of guilt and shame and move towards a state of lasting happiness. Russell also suggests that individuals can resolve their sense of sin by seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or mental health professionals. Talking about feelings of guilt and shame with others can help individuals to process and understand their emotions and to develop new, healthier ways of thinking about their experiences. Finally, Russell argues that individuals can move towards a state of lasting happiness by engaging in activities that are meaningful and fulfilling. He suggests that by focusing on their own personal growth and well-being, individuals can develop a sense of purpose and satisfaction with life, which can help to mitigate feelings of guilt and shame and lead to a sense of lasting happiness. Quotes from Chapter 8, Persecution Mania. Speaks of teaching yourself to feel that life would still be worth living even if you were not, as of course you are, immeasurably superior to all your friends in virtue and intelligence. Remember that your motives are not always as altruistic as they seem to yourself. Don't overestimate your own merits. Don't expect others to take as much interest in you as you do yourself. Don't imagine that most people give enough thought to you to have any special desire to persecute you. How does fear of public opinion cause unhappiness according to Russell, and to what extent does more modern evidence support this thesis with examples and statistics from social media? In The Conquest of Happiness, Bertrand Russell argues that fear of public opinion can be a significant cause of unhappiness. He suggests that individuals may feel pressure to conform to societal norms and standards, leading to feelings of anxiety and self-doubt. More recent evidence supports Russell's thesis that fear of public opinion can cause unhappiness. For example, the rise of social media has made it easier for individuals to observe and compare themselves to others, leading to feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. Research has shown that social media use is associated with increased levels of anxiety and depression, particularly among younger generations. For instance, a study published in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found that social media use was positively associated with body dissatisfaction among young adults. The study found that young adults who spent more time on social media were more likely to compare themselves to others and to feel self-conscious about their appearance. Another study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders found that social media use was associated with increased levels of anxiety and depression among adolescents. The study found that social media use was linked to feelings of self-doubt, low self-esteem, and a fear of missing out, all of which can contribute to feelings of unhappiness. In conclusion, modern evidence supports Russell's thesis that fear of public opinion can be a significant cause of unhappiness. Social media use has made it easier for individuals to observe and compare themselves to others, leading to feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, and anxiety. Quotes from Chapter 9, Fear of Public Opinion. In a good many cases, unnecessary timidity makes the trouble worse than it need be. Public opinion is always more tyrannical towards those who obviously fear it than towards those who feel indifferent to it. Can you give a scholarly evaluation of Russell's causes of unhappiness? Network error. The field of philosophy and psychology and his ideas about the causes of unhappiness have been widely discussed and debated in scholarly circles. Russell's perspective on the causes of unhappiness is heavily influenced by his belief in rationalism and his rejection of traditional cultural and religious norms. He argues that many common causes of unhappiness, such as boredom, fear of public opinion, and a sense of sin, stem from individuals' uncritical acceptance of societal norms and values. Russell's views on the causes of unhappiness have been widely recognized as insightful and thought-provoking, and his ideas have influenced subsequent generations of psychologists and philosophers. For example, his perspective on the role of fear of public opinion in causing unhappiness has been supported by more recent research, which has shown that social comparison and self-consciousness are significant contributors to feelings of anxiety and depression. However, some scholars have criticized Russell's views as overly simplistic and dismissive of cultural and religious values. They argue that his emphasis on individualism and rationality may overlook the importance of social connections and the role of community in promoting happiness. In conclusion, Bertrand Russell's The Conquest of Happiness provides a valuable contribution to the study of happiness and unhappiness. His ideas about the causes of unhappiness continue to be widely discussed and debated in scholarly circles, and his perspective remains relevant and influential to this day. Part Roman 2, Causes of Happiness. Notes, seeks to show that a happy person feels a profound instinctive union with the stream of life. A happy person feels themselves a citizen of the universe, enjoying freely the spectacle that it offers and the joys that it affords, untroubled by the thought of death because they feel themselves not really separate from those who will come after him. Explain Russell's concept of zest and provide some practical tips to attain zest and zest happiness. In The Conquest of Happiness, Bertrand Russell argues that zest is a crucial component of happiness. He defines zest as a feeling of intense enthusiasm and energy that is associated with a sense of purpose and engagement in life. Russell argues that zest is an important factor in achieving lasting happiness, as it helps individuals to find meaning and fulfillment in their lives. To attain zest and zest happiness, Russell offers the following practical tips. Pursue your passions. Russell suggests that individuals should engage in activities that they are passionate about, as this will help them to feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Develop new skills and interests. Russell argues that individuals should strive to learn new things and expand their knowledge and skills, as this will help them to feel more engaged with the world around them. Cultivate meaningful relationships. Russell suggests that individuals should invest time and energy in building strong relationships with others, as social connections are an important source of happiness and fulfillment. Engage in physical activity. Russell argues that regular physical activity can help to increase energy levels and boost overall well-being. Seek out new experiences. Russell suggests that individuals should strive to seek out new experiences, as this will help them to feel more engaged and energized in life. In conclusion, Russell's concept of zest highlights the importance of finding purpose and meaning in life as a key component of happiness. Practical tips such as pursuing your passions, developing new skills and interests, cultivating meaningful relationships, engaging in physical activity, and seeking out new experiences can all help individuals to attain zest happiness. Quotes from Chapter 11, Zest. Suppose one man likes strawberries and another does not. In what respect is the latter superior? There is no abstract and impersonal proof either that strawberries are good or that they are not good. To the man who likes them, they are good. To the man who dislikes them, they are not. But the man who likes them has a pleasure which the other does not have. To that extent, his life is more enjoyable, and he is better adapted to the world in which both must live. What is true in this trivial instance is equally true in more important matters. The man who enjoys watching football is to that extent superior to the man who does not. The man who enjoys reading is still more superior to the man who does not, since opportunities for reading are more frequent than opportunities for watching football. The more things a man is interested in, the more opportunities of happiness he has, and the less he is at the mercy of fate, since if he loses one thing, he can fall back upon another. Life is too short to be interested in everything, but it is good to be interested in as many things as are necessary to fill our days. Think of the different things that may be noticed in the course of a country walk. One man may be interested in the birds, another in the vegetation, another in the geology, yet another in the agriculture, and so on. Any one of these things is interesting if it interests you, and other things being equal. The man who is interested in any one of them is a man better adapted to the world than the man who is not interested. Russell also says, you may be pretty sure that genuine objective interests will grow up as soon as you have learnt not to be immersed in self. Here, Russell might seem to promote the conservative aversion to deep introspection, but what he actually says identifies as the malady of the introvert who, with the manifold spectacle of the world spread out before him, turns away and gazes only upon the emptiness within. Explain how affection and happiness cause happiness per Russell, and provide scenarios and evidence of these claims. In The Conquest of Happiness, Bertrand Russell argues that affection and happiness are important factors in promoting overall well-being and happiness. He explains that affection and happiness are interrelated, and that cultivating affectionate relationships and positive emotions can lead to increased happiness. According to Russell, affection is a key component of happiness because it helps individuals to feel connected and valued by others. When people feel affection from those they care about, they are more likely to feel confident, secure, and fulfilled. Additionally, affection can help to buffer against feelings of loneliness and isolation, which can be major sources of unhappiness. Russell also argues that happiness itself can be a cause of happiness. He explains that when people experience positive emotions, they are more likely to experience a positive outlook on life and feel more engaged and fulfilled. Additionally, experiencing happiness can help individuals to build resilience and cope better with stress and difficulties, which can in turn promote greater well-being. Research supports Russell's claims about the importance of affection and happiness for overall well-being. For example, studies have shown that individuals who experience positive emotions, such as happiness and joy, are more likely to report greater life satisfaction and well-being. Additionally, research has demonstrated that individuals who enjoy strong, supportive relationships are more likely to experience positive emotions and overall well-being. A practical scenario of these claims could be a close-knit family that regularly expresses affection and enjoys happy moments together. This family is likely to experience increased feelings of happiness, security, and well-being, which can help to promote positive attitudes and improve overall quality of life. In conclusion, Bertrand Russell's The Conquest of Happiness emphasizes the importance of affection and happiness for promoting overall well-being and happiness. Both affection and happiness can help individuals to feel more connected, fulfilled, and resilient, and evidence supports these claims. Quotes, Chapter 12, Affection. One of the chief causes of lack of zest is the feeling that one is unloved, whereas conversely, the feeling of being loved promotes zest more than anything else does. Chapter 13, The Family. The new creature is helpless, and there is an impulse to supply its needs, an impulse which gratifies not only the parent's love towards the child, but also the parent's desire for power. But from a very early age, it is nevertheless desirable that the child should as soon as possible learn to be independent in as many ways as possible, which is unpleasant to the power impulse in a parent. Please summarize Russell's ideas of work, effort, and resignation as causes of happiness, then provide a longer analysis including surprising stories of the same. In The Conquest of Happiness, Bertrand Russell argues that work, effort, and resignation are important factors in promoting overall well-being and happiness. Russell argues that work can be a source of happiness when it is meaningful and engaging. When individuals are able to work in a field that they are passionate about and that aligns with their values, they are more likely to experience a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Additionally, when individuals are able to engage in challenging and meaningful work, they can experience a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction that can boost overall happiness. Russell also emphasizes the importance of effort in promoting happiness. He argues that individuals who are willing to put in the time and effort to pursue their goals and dreams are more likely to experience a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. This is because the effort that people put into their work and goals can help them to feel like they are making a meaningful contribution to the world. Finally, Russell argues that resignation can also play a role in promoting happiness. He explains that individuals who are able to resign themselves to the things that they cannot change and focus instead on what they can control are more likely to experience a sense of peace and well-being. Additionally, resignation can help individuals to accept their circumstances and focus on what they can do to improve their lives, which can help to promote happiness. To illustrate these concepts, there are many real-life examples of individuals who have experienced the positive effects of work, effort, and resignation on their overall happiness. For example, there are many stories of individuals who have found fulfillment and happiness by pursuing careers that align with their passions and putting in the effort to achieve their goals. Additionally, there are many stories of individuals who have been able to find peace and well-being by resigning themselves to their circumstances and focusing on what they can control. In conclusion, Bertrand Russell's The Conquest of Happiness emphasizes the importance of work, effort, and resignation in promoting overall well-being and happiness. When individuals engage in meaningful work, put an effort towards their goals and dreams, and resign themselves to what they cannot control, they are more likely to experience a sense of purpose, satisfaction, and peace, which can help to promote happiness. Quotes from Chapter 16, Effort and Resignation. Happiness is not, except in very rare cases, something that drops into the mouth like a ripe fruit by the mere operation of fortunate circumstances. That is why I have called this book The Conquest of Happiness. Some people are furious when they miss a train, transported with rage if their dinner is badly cooked, sunk in despair if the chimney smokes, and vowing vengeance against the whole industrial order when their clothes fail to return from the sanitary steam laundry. Explain impersonal interests as a cause of happiness, according to Russell. Then explain Russell's conclusions about happiness and show how he reached this conclusion from his information about various causes of happiness. In The Conquest of Happiness, Bertrand Russell argues that impersonal interests can be a cause of happiness. Impersonal interests refer to activities or pursuits that individuals engage in for their own sake, rather than for the sake of others or for personal gain. These activities can range from hobbies and leisure activities to intellectual pursuits and artistic endeavors. Russell argues that engaging in impersonal interests can promote happiness in a number of ways. For one, these activities can provide individuals with a sense of purpose and fulfillment, as they are able to engage in pursuits that align with their passions and values. Additionally, these activities can help individuals to develop a sense of mastery and competence, which can boost their self-esteem and overall sense of well-being. Quotes from Chapter 16, Effort and Resignation. Happiness is not, except in very rare cases, something that drops into the mouth like a ripe fruit by the mere operation of fortunate circumstances. That is why I have called this book The Conquest of Happiness. Some people are furious when they miss a train, transported with rage if their dinner is badly cooked, sunk in despair if the chimney smokes, and vowing vengeance against the whole industrial order when their clothes fail to return from the sanitary steam laundry. Russell concludes that overall happiness is the result of a combination of various factors, including work, effort, affection, zest, impersonal interests, and resignation. He argues that these factors interact with each other to create a sense of well-being and happiness, and that the presence of one or more of these factors can help to counteract the negative effects of other causes of unhappiness. In reaching his conclusion, Russell draws on a wide range of information from a variety of sources, including personal observations, psychological research, and historical and cultural analysis. He synthesizes this information to form a comprehensive picture of the various causes of happiness and unhappiness, and how these factors interact with each other to promote or detract from overall well-being. Overall, Russell's The Conquest of Happiness provides a comprehensive examination of the various causes of happiness, and argues that individuals can promote their own well-being and happiness by engaging in activities and pursuits that align with their passions and values and that promote a sense of purpose, fulfillment, and satisfaction. Quote from Chapter 17, The Happy Man. The man who is unhappy will, as a rule, adopt an unhappy creed, while the man who is happy will adopt a happy creed. Each may attribute his happiness or unhappiness to his beliefs, while the real causation is the other way round.